Nema County and that of the entire country because one way or the other, he has been someone there on the front line in terms of working towards the progress of Liberia. So we go to District Number 4, Montserrado County. It was a very, 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 very sad moment for the people in District 4, Montserrado County. That was on Wednesday morning when the news hit. I mean, it was just after a few days when the representative of District 4, Montserrado County, Antonin Michael Thomas, it
Mhm.
was on the 15th, which this communication came up that he was appealing to the House of Representatives in terms of purchasing a fire service truck for Pinsville, Pinsville. So not just specifically for District 4, but Pinsville has a lot of districts in the district, so at least could help in terms of finding a remedy to some of these cases because it's a very serious challenge when cases like fire outbreak spark. You find out that people running to and from and very hard scattered in terms of how can they quench the fire. That has been a very serious challenge, so he highlighted that. Sadly, it was on Wednesday morning, like I said, when the news surfaced of a fire incident in the district. That was in Calfee, Dupont Road, the road that leads to the Charles Salif guest house. Is a major road that a lot of people use. We've been told of a fire disaster which took place, and that was very sad. It led to the death of 5 persons. Imagine that. And from what we saw, the fire must have started from a house, and later on, as there was no progress in terms of quenching it, it went to another nearby houses too around it. And so that was very sad, and the pictures of the situation was even posted on the social media as well. And this issue about fire incident in recent time, it has become one of the things that suffers in a whole lot. Sometimes some derive from electricity and all of that. What is your take in terms of what can we say to the folks at the fire service
You
as
know,
as the take on this new tax?
well, let me say, my sympathy to families that have lost loved ones in fire incidents. That several of them have been reported lately. You know, I will look at it from several other perspectives. Fire engines, yes, I agree. As part of the remedy, let's is very key that we have fire engines, we have fire trucks. But I mean, even the way we our communities are structured, it's already a problem as to how the fire truck can access, most of these areas. The way the construction is done, access roads are not available. But I think that yes, it is important that we have the fire trucks. But even beyond that, I think there is a need for a lot of awareness creation on fire prevention. There is the number of fires and the cause of most of those fires that we're hearing of lately. For an example, quite recently we heard somewhere in the Brenner Farm community, a lady left a baby in the room and went out to get either candle or mosquito coils. And while she was away, fire gutted the building and the child died in the fire. And then there's several other fire incidents. The other day, we were acting somewhere, people woke up and heard it. There was fire in the ceiling, and they all had to, lost everything. They lost human beings, and in this case, a very disastrous fire as well. I think there's a need for a lot of awareness creation on fire prevention. What is fire? How is fire started? How can it be prevented? Um, Before we start talking about finding the remedy, like fire engine. Take for example, electricity is one reason why usually you get fire. It's the whole electrical shock. I mean, we have to be quite careful because, for instance, who is doing the electrical work? I mean, who has the
I mean, even sometimes some of the wires from what I even gathered from, some electrician, they talked about there are some substandard wires
Yeah.
in the country. No, they are not up to tax, and made of aluminum could be
Mm.
responsible in terms of these electrical shocks at times.
Yeah, but
But
more,
people should
more.
go out for the good ones.
So that's why I'm talking about getting the right electricians, because they will know the kinds of wires to use, the kind of wiring and electrification of our homes. For example, I know that the wires should be able to take certain capacity. I'm not an electrician, but I know that if you have the wrong voltages going through the wrong wires, my suspicion is that they could be the cause of fire. And the way too we manage electricity, if you're leaving your house, for example, as much as possible, switch off all those
Yeah, yeah,
appliances that you
those
need.
appliances.
Switch them off. But sometimes we forget, we just leave them like that. Take for example, when we using some of the appliances that will take a lot of heat, you have to monitor it.
Especially like the stove,
The electric iron is
the
an example. The
percolator.
okay, one common one, and they're so cheap these days, and they get very hot in a short space of time. You hear the chime and the sound and the boiling and all of that. If you don't pay attention, this could cause spark, and this could be problematic and troublesome.
So
Mosquitoes and mosquito coils and all of that. You take a mosquito coil, you light it, you put it by your bedside. You think it's far from your bed, but when you look, the spread you have covered with maybe, goes around a fire, it catches fire. By the time you realize the fire has grown, before you fetch water, the fire has taken over the house. Candle at this time, and if I have my way, I'll tell everybody, don't use candle. Buy the
yeah,
Chinese, buy the Chinese
I
flashlight, and
mean, even the situation in District 4, we were trying to speak with some sources.
okay,
That was one of the things they talked about.
the use of
Yeah,
candle.
use of Keno. I mean, to get out to reach out to the owner of the house. Sometimes even the owner of the house may not be the
Mhm.
one who was using, so we not know what
Yeah.
was the source of the fire. But
Mhm.
from what we also gathered, we were told that the source of the fire was Kenner. I mean, I was very shocked
Mhm.
in this kind of time where even the foam lights
Mhm.
could also assist in
Yeah.
terms of a lighting system in your home. You also could use maybe the Chinese lights
A
we were
Chinese
talking
light,
about
$100
and all
can
of
get
that.
you
So
a
so
Chinese
using
light.
using Keno, I
Yeah.
mean, it may be cheap, but on the flip side, it could be the very dangerous thing. Like we say, cheap is very expensive at times.
Yeah. I mean,
Trying to avoid expensive, but then you lead to something that will could put you in danger.
yes. In fact, growing up, I remember there used to be this awareness. If you have to use candle, how to light it, where to place it, and all of that. We don't hear about any of these things anymore. I mean, sometimes a candle you light it, you put it up there, the heat can cause the candle by itself to even bend and fall.
Yeah, I think
So
one of the main reasons why we're not hearing it too much is because too many people are not using that anymore.
yeah, but then it's still victimizing people. So it's good that we raise awareness about this fire prevention. I mean, how we can avoid, I mean, it should be only friendly use for fire. I mean, but any fire that will destroy you, be very, very careful with it. And I'm afraid we're losing a lot of our citizens. It's not only electricity, like we said, it's candle, is mosquito coil, is every time you're not using fire, cut it off. I mean, you put just charcoal in um wherever you build your fire, maybe in a coal pot. If you don't have need for the fire, cut the
Cut
fire
it off.
off.
Yes.
Don't, because you never tell, a spark from there could just hit the
Maybe,
curtain
yeah, the,
hanging on
the
the window.
curtain.
It could spark fire, and that could be problematic. So let's do the best we can to prevent. Prevention is better than cure, like they've always said. If we don't do that, I'm afraid we will keep hearing about these kinds of unfortunate situations that we do not pray for.
Okay, we can talk on one, then we open the line to
Right.
interact with the public. This issue about drugs, illicit drugs. We've been talking about this, and I think there is a little progress we are seeing from the angle of the Liberia Drugs Enforcement Agency this week. it was a very serious tax embarked on by his newly appointed and confirmed head Ibrahim Kuman. He also been going at various major ghettos. I mean, not going for the consumers as usual, though there are times you go on the kind of raiding, you raise money, but when you go to raid, those who are selling are the ones who are impacting the area, very, 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 bad. So in that situation, there were some individuals who were arrested. We heard of the case in Grand Bassa County. There were individuals who were arrested. We're being told of a guy along with his girlfriend. They were arrested of selling, different types of these substances. Yes, and so they talked about, is their source of income. This is what they use in terms of sustaining their family, according to our correspondent. And I was like shocked. You are endangering the lives or the society. Then you talk about this is something that you use as a source of income. So they were arrested in Grand Bassa County. We heard of that. We also heard about another one. I think it was a cross,
Mhm.
and on that one, the
In Monrovia, in
Emmanuel,
Montserrat, yeah.
yes,
Mhm.
the DEA boss himself was on that identical, the team that did the raiding. When they collected, a guy along with, his team, and I mean, there were so many things, they arrested. I mean,
He said there were drugs everywhere. I mean, they were looking everywhere in the compound. And let me see this tagger. And I'm not saying I'm saying this without stupor. I know people complain about quote unquote alleged excesses by Ibrahim Khalilu Kroma.
come on,
I know you might be surprised I'm calling him Ibrahim because I've known him over the years. I mean,
you call
over
that
a
name
long
again,
yeah,
Ibrahim?
Ibrahim Khalilu Kroma. That is his name.
Okay,
Uh, I know he's a very serious-minded professional, security professional. I know he goes for the goals when he has a target, he goes for it. I know when he was 102 in the Liberian National Police, a lot of people cried with his name. I don't know how many police people are really, really loved because,
but you see in Liberia, once you are doing the good thing, many times people will cry on you and they
but
feel like they don't
I'm
like you.
saying to you, I don't know how many police people will be loved, how many enforcers. The guy will arrest you, no matter whether you are his family or you are what, they will arrest you. The guy we're talking about, I think in Viton or Clariton or somewhere, he said the guy told him, I know you. I used to work on your vehicle. Hell, that's not Alaji
Well,
Kruma.
no.
Sorry. I mean, not Alaji Kruma, Kalilu Kruma. Um, he will arrest you. I mean, and he said, in fact, the guy lied to me. And I know him, but I didn't know that's what he was doing. And he lied to me. He cannot lie to me again. And he arrested the guy. And I know Abraham Kalilu Kruma will deliver. Even though at this stage he's calling for logistical support,
Yes.
where the office is not conducive. They want an office space. They want training for the men, like we said the last time. We wanted the DEA itself to be sanitized. Nobody connected to DEA should at any point in time be connected to drug use. I mean, the president, the vice president, they've already taken the lead in doing a drug test. The senators are very particular, asking people who are going in, have you done your drug test? That test should be routine. The thing about it is that we should be clear. Whoever that is found to be guilty or somewhat, connected to drug use, what will happen to them? Let's see some practical examples, because this will really tell us that this is leadership by example. But again, let me commend Director AB Kalilu Kruma. He has started on a high. I think he should intensify that across Liberia. Thank God some of the things we were recommending recently, he's already announced them. One, let it be, a system where people have uh, short codes that they can anonymously call to provide information to the DEA. He talked about, how the DEA will be moving, which they have already started, into communities to find out wherever these ghettos are. And the rallying call on the community people. Parents, you are never happy to see your children in drugs. Brothers, sisters, we all have to be involved. Where we can rehabilitate these drug users, let's go ahead and do it. And I'm happy with the emphasis on those who are drug importers, drug pushers. It's not only the users. In fact, the most dangerous people are those who are bringing the drugs, who are pushing the drugs. Let's get at them. It's a very big money business, and so people are tempted to engage. So let's support the DEA as much as possible to be able to fight this menace. Other than that, Liberia is in trouble.
Serious trouble. Okay, if you have just joined us, you listening to the Super Morning Show here on ELBC Radio FM 99.9 and other frequencies across Liberia. What is 60 minutes up to 9 o'clock, and so you have been listening to those issues we highlighted here on the program here this morning. And if you want to participate, you can call us on 0880 514 096 0880 514 096 or 0776 740673 0776 740673. Earlier on, we talked about the new appointments the president, did. We also highlighted the caution he made to those who I appointees of government to attach some responsibility to the kind of job that they have been appointed to do. Let me talk to this caller on the line. Morning.
Morning, man.
You like? Oh, too bad. Just walk away from your monitor. Hello.
Okay, you all right?
No, I can't keep you on the line. Sorry. Let's talk to another caller. Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning.
Yes, you live. Tell us your name, where you join us from.
Okay, I'm Thomas S. Collins, command call Joshua for Blue Sovereign District, Maryland County.
Okay, go ahead. Let's hear you.
Okay, I want to speak on two issues. The drug issue and the fire service issue.
Go ahead.
Okay, when it comes to the drug issue, I think for police, people were recruited and the community people to ask what the people being that are recruited as police, and they should know them. For a DA, we don't know how important recruit people go. So guys that we know, they are there of the drug issue and they went somewhere and they join the DA. We have picked a new director that those people who are being a DA, they community know them. But if they don't know them, some will be part of the drug issue, will be part of it. Secondly, hello?
Yeah, go ahead. Just do it quickly now. They are all us on the line.
For the fire service issue, the fire service could do a massive awareness because it causes most of it in Liberia. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let's talk to another caller on the line here. Morning, welcome. How are you?
Good morning.
Yes, you're live. Tell us your name, where you join us from.
Yeah, I'm from Patoba, on the Portland Road.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to talk on two the issues we are discussing.
Yes, but you got to be audible because people listen to you on the radio.
Quality of the kind of wiring that is being imported in this country. The Commerce Ministry or whoever is responsible should also take a keen look at what kind of material is imported into the country that is hazard to let's say the usage is hazard to the public. That's one. Two, because people they have the maternity way of doing things. I know how to do it, so you just grab any wire and connect people. That's another way there. And the issue with the drugs issue. People in Liberia or in the whole wide world, when you are doing the right thing, people will not let you. I heard one of you say, I don't know how many police people like that is very true. Most of his colleagues, most of Kuman's police looking him for what he's doing. Well, they have been this thing where I would. Hello.
Okay, thank you. Let's talk to other callers on the line. Call us on 0776 or 0880 We will have this conversation up to later on at 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock this morning, we will play host to the Deputy Director General for Human Resource Management at the Civil Service Agency, Darlington Smith, will join us here this morning. We'll talk on too many issues around the Civil Service Agency. Let's talk to this caller. Morning.
Good morning.
Yes, your life. What's the name? Where you join us from?
Thank you very much. My name is Daniel Sobot, and I join you from ELW in Montserrat.
Go ahead.
I want to speak to what have to do with the University of Liberia. I think the
No.
new government
We didn't talk.
all relevant authority.
We didn't talk on anything relative to the University of Liberia. Let's stick to the issues we are discussing here. Morning. Okay, too bad we lost out this caller who was making the way through here. We didn't talk about the University of Liberia. Think morning.
Good morning, brother.
Yes, your life. Tell us your name, where you join us from.
My name is Omingo Kwagako from District 10.
Go ahead.
Yes, my concern is how can one become a member or officer of the DEA?
Wow. That is a question but I think if there should be a recruitment, the DEA will announce that, and they will state the criteria in the recruitment process. So you can just remain posted. Other that will be done if there's a need. Let's talk to the next caller on the line. Morning.
Good morning, sir.
Yes, you're welcome. What's the name? Where you join us from?
Yeah, Anthony Jisukuta. I'm from District 2, Jacob Town.
Go ahead.
I appreciate you guys, especially the department in studio there. He's so informed about what he is doing. But there are two things I want to bring to our life that is bringing some of our problems in this country as far as job is concerned. Instead of using motivation, many people use demotivation. I've been here in sense of me, who was working in Kola as a hospital administrator. We took the hospital from a facility level to a district hospital. When the bad government came into being, instead of promoting me, what they did is they demotivated me by bringing me to a health center. In less than 1 year, they brought me letter to say your pension.
No, so
in my case,
so that issue, I would just ask you to just hold your peace. Just listen to the radio at 9 o'clock. We talked to host the Deputy Director General for the Human Resource Management at the Civil Service Agency, and I think through the discussion he can provide some clarity on that.
Okay, thank you so much.
Yes, it's not part of our discussion, but I think it's very important. Just save your question. Mr. Darlington Smith will be here at 9 o'clock. We can talk on that. Too many issues in government around employment and all of that. He will highlight then. I can say he's the government human resource director, in that capacity. So he will respond to some of those things, some of his plans he has for that division of the Civil Service Agency. Call us on 0776 740673, 0776 740673, or 0880514096. We talked about the president's appointment and the caution he gave those appointees to bring to the public sector. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning. How are you?
Yes, you live. Go ahead. Just walk away from your monitor. Tell us the name where you join us from.
This is Steve Mount calling from the Ralphie Highway.
Go ahead.
Ralphie VOA.
Yes, go ahead. So move aside the radio, or what you're using to listen to us. Just listen to the phone. Go ahead.
Yeah, for the drugs issue, I understand that those who are dealing with the drugs issue here, both of them themselves are taking in the drugs.
No, you can say it that way. Just because when you say it that way, then you alleging that everyone in it. So you got to your choice of word got to be very arranged. But go ahead.
Okay, so I want to know, for those who are after the drugs, do they have any magazine that can detect whether a person have a drugs or not?
They got their own security, discretion in terms of doing the rating. But let's talk to other callers on the line here. I'm sure they can be hinted by community dwellers before they go to do rating, and through that they can put up their measure. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning.
You're welcome. Go ahead. What's the name where you join us from?
Yeah, I'm Daniel calling from Brookfield.
Go ahead, Daniel.
Yeah, better drugs issue. We the citizens, we are the major cause for the drug issue, because we were not able to work with the DEA So that I know when someone selling drugs in the community for all to tell the DA that oh yeah the person selling drugs will be afraid. You see, so really major cause for the problem in this country.
So what?
The DA now in every community to know that yeah the person selling drugs, but we are in the community we want to know the people.
So what do you want to recommend at this time?
So yeah, so I recommend to we Liberians, we all know that drug is not good. As long as you see your friends selling drug in the community, please make it know by trying to get to the DA so that at least they can come around there to get rid of that place.
Okay, so we'll pick up two, then I'll go back to Anthony Bowen. We just conclude on this, then we can take a break at 9 o'clock to usher in our guests. Welcome, how are you?
Yeah, good morning. I'm Kukwe C. Kukwe from Lower Johnson Bay District 2.
Go ahead, Kukwe.
Thank you for your topic on discussion. I just want to make my point clear this morning.
Go ahead.
The trust stop. I will tell you for free, my brother, it's not a joking thing. I think if you monitor the world news, in Haiti right now, still can't start taking care of Haiti. We're seeing trust trading. So what my recommendation would be like is that the government need to enforce and empower and equip AB Kurman. Because at the end of the day, some of their ass how do you recruit DA officer and you throw in the right answer. The type of recruitment there will be an announcement made. And, you know, and someone even mentioned about the guys that in the police force in the DA say trafficking along with the guys. My recommendation is that every area that will be caught with drugs, immediate deportation. You're not going to court, don't get a protocol.
Okay.
People are being a problem to us.
Okay. Thank you for your contribution. We don't have any now, so I'll go back to Anthony Bowen, and so we can wrap up on this. You know, they've been just buttressing what we were talking here. They have been, you know, supporting, you know, this issue about citizens, you know, being also security in terms of providing information on this eradication of drug in the country. I mean,
yes, I mean, like we said, I mean, we as citizens must support these processes. The issue of drug, for an example, these things are happening in the communities. The communities are in these ghettos. You know, these individuals who are involved in pushing drugs are in the ghettos, in the communities. The ghettos are in the communities as well. So the parents, community members, community chairpersons, if it is possible, set up your own community-based kind of watch teams. Observe, you know, you don't have to make yourself visible. And we call on the DEA to make available, you know, those short codes that people can call. You don't even have to pay money. You only need to call and say, look, there's a ghetto in this place and we need you to come and see. And then I know, again, I have confidence in Ibrahim Kalilu Nkrumah. And, you know, I want to challenge other people who are coming into government. If you have a legacy, people know you. Just before, you know, the government, the president started the appointments, it was already being rumored that Nkrumah was coming. He was going to go to the police, and people were always like, oh, Nkrumah is a very rough guy. Even a lot of motorcyclists were complaining and the rest of it. So even when the CMG people say, yeah, that selection is good,
yes, because
he's a guy who can get a job done. So let's leave you on a legacy that when you say, oh, okay, Bowen is going to you know, manage this particular media outfit since it is my area of interest, people will say, oh yes, he's able to handle that task. Okay, this person is going to be at the Ministry of Education. Oh yes, that guy is a good, you know, administrator, education administrator, and the rest of it. So again, I mean, the honors rest with us. We all must join our hands together to make sure that Liberia is developed to the level at which we want it.
I mean, another caller talked about this issue about the wiring, you know, wires coming in the country. I think that falls under the Liberia, that's the Liberia Electricity Regulatory Authority. It should be the ERC, something like that. But
yeah,
they set up a law that was, you know, a policy they talked about at one of the MICAT press briefing. Where they were going to, you know, regulate and also issue license in terms of electricians working in the country, also be able to work in terms of the kind of wires we have in the country, these soft standard wires. But I don't know, that had not it was not really touched on. So we hope that this administration will look into that. I
A
mean,
whole
the
host
electric,
of
the electricity, shock situation that leading to fire disaster. There are too many,
a whole
many
host
times
of
we hear situation of this.
yeah, we only when I mean electricity is one of them, and I want to say here that there's a whole host of things that need to happen, even where we're doing the vocational technical training, teaching people electricity and the rest of it. Those who regulate, we have to make sure that we're having the right people, the right schools with the right accreditation, to graduate the right people. We have to be careful before we call somebody to come and do a piece of electrical work. We are sure that this person has what it takes. We have to make sure that that we do the right inspection to make sure that the kind of electrical appliances that or wires or whatever that we need to run safe electricity in our homes is what we will utilize to avoid some of these fire incidents.
Okay, so it's 9 o'clock, and I told you that at 9 we will play host to the newly appointed and, of course, I say energetic, hardworking Deputy Director General for Human Resource Management at the Civil Service Agency will be our guest between now straight up to 10 o'clock this morning. We'll talk too many issues around the CSA. Darlington Smith is right in the building here. And so we take just a bite of this song as we usher in our guest this morning to have our discussion rolling. Please stay tuned. Don't go away. This is the Super Morning Show. My name is Renin Taka Goligio. I'm here with Antonin Vawen on the program.